That was fucking good. All right.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Complete Sports Media's podcast. I'm your host, Darren Campbell, and joining me for a weekend wrap-up, as always, on Monday, Jason Cameron. Hey, buddy. How's it going?
It's been better. Anyways, as you know, we worked together, and unfortunately, I suffered a flat tire at work, and then I had to deal with that. Never fun.
Not fun. No. Yeah, sorry to hear that, man. Shit. Not a good end to the day. And it might affect you for a couple days. Sometimes it's hard to get a tire and get it fixed real quick. And so that's not a good way to start on Monday.
It's not the best way. No, there's a lot of different ways I would like to start my Monday. None of them involve a flat tire. So none of them involve that. But that's okay. It's all right. If that's the worst thing I have to deal with is just a flat tire, then I'm actually doing pretty good.
Yeah. Got home and put the Monday nighter on. Buffalo and Tennessee. Buffalo heavily favored. One of the top teams in the AFC, having a phenomenal year. Great on offense, great on defense. They were only favored by 6 because it's in Tennessee, but I kind of expected a blowout, and the lead has changed 4 different times since the beginning of the game. Buffalo took a late 20-17 lead with a touchdown pass to Cole Beasley, but Tennessee's right in there, kind of surprising.
I'm going to be honest. I thought this game could go one of 2 ways. Either Buffalo blows Tennessee out, or it's going to be super close. Okay. That's what I thought was going to happen with this game, and I guess super close is one out.
Yeah. Josh Allen is already having a great night. He had 200 yards in the first half. I see he's 23 for 29, 220-something yards, couple touchdowns. Stephon Diggs already has 7 catches, 77 yards and a TD. Cole Beasley with that touchdown. Dawson Knox is in there. Emmanuel Sanders, Devin Singletary's got 5 catches out of the backfield. Look out. Buffalo is lethal this year. So many weapons.
So many weapons, not just on the offensive side of the ball, but the defensive side of the ball. They're a complete football team.
Yeah, in
all respects.
Baltimore Ravens, the only team 5-1. Buffalo, if they can win tonight, will also join them at 5-1. Who would you say is the favorite between Baltimore and Buffalo this year to be the top team in the AFC?
Buffalo. Okay. I've just right off the bat, for me, it's Buffalo. I believe that their team altogether is better than the Ravens.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe their team's better.
Makes sense. Derrick Henry also already having a great night. 9 carries, 96 yards and a touchdown. 10.7 average. Every time you hand them the ball, you're getting a first down. So Tannehill's only completed 4 passes all game so far, and 1 pass to the bad guys, 1 pick already. But it looks like they're just going to run the ball with Henry as long as they can keep close. I see him getting about 30 carries tonight.
That's the great thing. That's that security blanket that you always want from your running back, which is all I got to do is do this. And then that guy will just, he'll just do his thing and just run forever, and nobody can stop him. It's awesome.
Ryan Tannehill ran in a touchdown, and everybody just went at Henry, and he was able to go around and score himself because everybody thought, for sure this is going to Derrick, but Tannehill was able to punch it in.
Well, hey, and also too, he's great to utilize for deception. Yeah. Because obviously it's like he's going to get the ball and then he's going to run us all over.
Exactly, yeah. I guess the biggest story that emerged out of week 6 is that the Cardinals are still unbeaten, 6-0. The other big contenders in the NFC are the Bucks, Packers, Cowboys, and Rams, all sitting at 5-1. We'll definitely go over all the games with them, but the Cardinals this year, 6-0. I don't think most people suspected them to be able to just be the most dominant team in the league in the NFC for sure. I think they thought maybe another year or two Kyler was coming along, and they didn't quite make the playoffs last year. But are you surprised that they've been able to turn it around and be this good this soon?
A little bit surprised. I thought this would happen next year, not happen as quickly as it's happening right now. But Kyler Murray's taken another step for sure in his development, and he looks literally sensational. Would I say that is he an MVP candidate? I'd say from how he's playing so far, it looks like it to me.
Yeah, no, I agree. Lots of QBs are in the MVP conversation, but undefeated, playing amazing, great numbers every single game. I mean, he's definitely flexing his muscle and being, he's probably the front runner right now. DeAndre Hopkins, another fantastic day with a couple of TD catches. AJ Green, Christian Kirk had touchdowns apiece. 37-14 against the Browns, and everybody suspected that the Browns are going to give them a lot of trouble because they are great this year on defense and offense. But this was just a really big blowout.
Huge blowout. What the Cardinals did that really made it known that they were going to dominate the Browns was they took away the running game. They had no running game in this particular matchup, nothing. And that was the huge story in this game. Massive. Yeah. And that's why the Cardinals won by an overwhelming amount.
Yeah, well, the Browns were relying so much on Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt this year, and that 1-2 punch has been phenomenal, but really shut down in this one. Obviously, Chubb was out. Hunt had 14 carries for 66 yards, but he got hurt as well, and he's out with a calf injury for a few weeks. So they're in trouble with no running game. I don't think Baker is good enough to find his weapons without that running game threat. I think teams are just going to key on him, bring the whole house at him, and make him beat them. I think they're in a lot of trouble with two running backs out.
It's going to be supremely hard for him to win games if he has to pass the ball 40 times a game. It's going to be really tough. And you're absolutely right. Defenses are just going to be like, blitz, 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 blitz. They are going to be blitz happy. They're going to be coming after him.
Yeah. There was actually back-to-back losses for the Browns in the first time in the Kevin Stefanski era, which was a surprising stat for me. Because Cleveland's has been really a horrible organization for so many years, and they haven't quite turned it around fully. So first back-to-back losses for Cleveland, really quite surprising. But did you catch the Hail Mary that was caught by David Peoples-Jones at the end of the first half there? That was a pretty incredible catch and throw right at the end of the half.
Yes, it was. And I just got to say, I love that guy's last name. It's Peoples-Jones. It's almost like he's the people's champion. Yeah. But a great catch. Great catch.
That was awesome. Yeah. Odell Beckham had 5 catches, 79 yards, trying to get back into shape, but had a shoulder injury in this one. Not sure about how severe it is, but they say that Baker Mayfield has a shoulder separation. He's supposedly going to play through it, but if you have a shoulder separation, I don't see how effective you're going to be able to be.
Yeah, because that is really limiting on what you can do on the field, especially if, I don't know, you're the quarterback, right?
Yeah.
You got to throw the ball. I'm more impressed that he's actually able to play through it. I'm very impressed by that.
Yeah. the Cards traded and got the tight end Zach Ertz from the Eagles this week to replace the injured Max Williams. That was a big move. I was really surprised. Ertz has been one of the top tight ends for many years, and I was surprised the Eagles gave him up.
How did they pull that off? How do you lose a high-end, top-end tight end yourself, and then all of a sudden you just go, well, we'll just take that guy. That guy's a pretty good guy. I don't know how they pulled that off. That's actually kind of amazing.
I know, yeah. Well, we've seen the Cardinals pull off amazing trades. Obviously, the DeAndre Hopkins for David Johnson is, the biggest one of all time. Even though Bill O'Brien is no longer in the league, they still seem to be able to pull off these huge moves and get the guys they need.
Whoever that GM is a genius. The man is a wizard. Like, he's literally a wizard, where he's just like, I'm just going to cast my spell, and you will give me the player I need, and I will give you nothing.
Exactly. Yeah. I want to go through the NFC. We'll start in the West. We talked about the Cardinals. Now let's talk about the Rams. 5-1, took care of business, crushing the Giants 38-11. Stafford threw 4 TD passes, 2 to Cooper Kupp, 1 to Woods, and 1 to Darrell Henderson. Henderson also ran one in on the ground. Kupp is just so much of a great weapon for him. Another 9 catches for 130 yards and a couple TDs. So there's another trade that's worked out incredibly well for one team and very horribly for the other.
Yes, because Stafford has found his home with the Rams, and the Rams are so much better for it. And also, too, it's really nice for Matthew Stafford to have, again, his security blanket and Cooper Kupp. All he's got to do is get the ball somewhere in that man's vicinity, and it's caught. And that's it.
Yeah, no kidding. Taylor Rapp had 2 interceptions for the Rams, and their defense is phenomenal too. Robert Rochelle had a interception, and Jordan Fuller had 9 tackles. Giants just really didn't have a chance here.
Giants did not have a chance. The Rams defense was on point. 4 takeaways by the Rams defense. Jones with 3 interceptions. He was hurried all game.
Yeah. The Rams host the winless Lions, so it's it definitely shows there's that trade that was made. I think Stafford's gonna probably try to put up 100 points on the Rams. It's gonna be on the Lions. I mean, it's gonna be pretty hilarious to watch this mismatch. Yeah,
it is, because I know Jared Goff is just like, man, I wish I was still on that team. That's a pretty good team.
No kidding. Yeah, exactly. So that's it in the late window. Rams hosting the Lions. Giants host the Panthers in the early window. We talked about it a bit today. The Sunday nighter, the Seahawks traveled to Pittsburgh for that Sunday nighter, and a lot of people were suspecting that Seahawks would get blown out without Russell Wilson in there. Geno Smith coming in, making his first start in 4 years. But it was a very competitive game. Seahawks took a little bit time to get going, but in that second half, they made the comeback, forced overtime. Unfortunately, weren't able to pull out the win, but competitive, fun game to watch.
Yeah, because it could have gone very, very badly and poorly for the Seahawks, because they were down quick. Yeah. And I thought to myself, if the Steelers score one more touchdown, this game is literally over. But that's not what happened. Geno Smith orchestrated a comeback, which I was super impressed by, to be honest with you. And he acquitted himself well. 23-32, 209 yards, 1 touchdown. And DK Metcalf played well, 6 receptions, 58 yards. Yeah, man. Seattle was game.
Yeah.
It was a game.
Yeah, I was really surprised. Chris Carson has been put on injured reserve, and he's out at least another half a dozen weeks. Alex Collins came in, 20 carries, 101 yards, and a touchdown. Pretty impressive performance by him.
Yeah, for him to come in and be the running back that the Seattle needed. And he did his job well. He really did. Unfortunately, Seattle fell short. Steelers were better. Hey, as far as I'm concerned, as long as Smith actually gives the Seahawks a chance to win, he's doing his job.
I expected more out of Chase Claypool with Juju gone for the season. I expected Claypool to figure prominently, and he was shut down. Seahawks obviously employed a good strategy, or Pittsburgh just wasn't thrown to Claypool, but only 2 catches for 17 yards. Very strange. I thought this was going to be a big breakout game for him.
Yeah. He it looked like Seattle schemed to take him out of the game, and they were actually successful in doing that. But they weren't successful for all the receivers. Johnson with 9 receptions and 71 yards, and Najee Harris actually had a great game. 24 attempts rushing, 81 yards, 6 receptions, 46 yards, and a TD. He had a fantastic game.
Yeah, no, he's a good weapon for them. They're really lucky to have that guy. He's been great. Seahawks now sit at the bottom of the NFC West with a 2-4 record. The 49ers had a bye. They remain in 3rd in the NFC West. Seahawks will be hosting the Saints for the Monday nighter 1 week tonight. And the Steelers are 3-3, tied for 3rd in the AFC North. And the Steelers get a bye week this week. So we'll be able to, repair a lot of the injuries they have and get ready for the second third of the year. Let's turn to the NFC South. The Bucs still sit a couple games up. They beat the Eagles on Thursday, 28-22. Tom Brady had another great game, 297 yards, a couple touchdowns. Fournette had a couple TDs on the ground. Brown and O.J. Howard were the recipients of the TD catches. Jalen Hurts wasn't throwing the ball much, but he got a couple touchdowns on the ground himself. And Zach Ertz had a touchdown in his last game with the Eagles. The Bucs just keep on rolling, 5-1, still looking great.
Yeah, still looking good. They are rolling. They're doing well. Brady leading the charge. But kind of concerning, the Bucs secondary not looking good. They lost yet another guy in Richard Sherman, left the game with a hamstring injury. They are decimated back there.
It's crazy, yeah. Yeah, it's amazing that they've been able to withstand that many injuries to that secondary. So many of the corners are hurt, and Sherman was brought in to try to solidify that, and got injured too. Hopefully he's not gone for long for them. And rolling along, the Bucs host the Bears 125 on Sunday, and Philly goes to Vegas for the 105 start on Sunday. In that South, the Saints and the Panthers both had a bye, and the Falcons, the Falcons sit down at 2-3. Were not in action. Minnesota was got a big victory, 34-28 in overtime over Carolina. Both those teams now sit 3-3. KJ Osborne caught the Kirk Cousins pass and took it to the house to end that game. Cousins was amazing, 373 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns. He's on fire right now. So many weapons there, and Minnesota got the big win to get to 500.
Yeah, and their 3 best offensive weapons played that way. Cousins, huge game. Delvin Cook, huge game. 29 attempts, 140 yards, 1 touchdown. And Thielen, 11 receptions, 126 yards, 1 touchdown. Amazing. Those guys, when they're rolling like that, Vikings are really, really hard to beat.
Yeah, super hard to beat. Yeah. I was surprised that Chuba Hubbard didn't get a little more play, 16 carries for 61 yards. DJ Moore, 5 catches for 73. Sam Darnold was just okay. 207 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. Minnesota ended up pulling out that win. Carolina goes to the Giants, a bit easier for them, and the Vikings go on their bye week, so getting a chance to have some time off. So covering the Vikings and NFC North, Green Bay has emerged as the top team there, 5-1. They're just looking great. A big victory over Chicago. 22-5 is Aaron Rodgers' record against the Bears. He just seems to love going in there and breaking the hearts of the fans there. He had a little skirmish with them. He said there was a woman in the stands when he scored the winning touchdown that was giving him the 2 birds, and he was saying some nice words to her. Nothing derogatory at all. He was just saying, "Love this place. Can't wait to come back."
That's all he needs to say. That's all he needs. His record speaks for itself. That's why he loves playing against the Bears. He said as much. He's like, "Oh, I love coming here. This is a great place for me." And because he just keeps winning. He just keeps winning. 17-23, 195 yards, 2 TDs, and he even rushed for a touchdown.
Yeah.
And man, Packers. Who would have thought after that first week that they would be where they are now? Crazy.
They're definitely looking great. They really struggled out of the gate, but boom, 5 wins in a row, and 2-game lead over Minnesota and Chicago, who are both sitting at 3-3. Aaron Jones looking great. Devontae Adams had another nice game. AJ Dillon, Alan Lazard. This team is just firing on all cylinders. Justin Fields played okay, but they're not using him a ton. They had David Montgomery was hurt, so they're using a backup running back, but he played quite well. Khalil Herbert, 19 carries, 97 yards and a touchdown, 2 catches for 15 yards. But the Green Bay's just got way more weapons than Chicago has, and it really wasn't that close.
No, it wasn't that close. And then also too, they got that former MVP, just tossing the pigskin around. So yeah, you could say a little bit overmatched.
Yeah.
Tad.
Packers host Washington, 10 a.m. early window on Sunday, and the Bears go to Tampa Bay, 1:25 Pacific start. Gonna be tough for Chicago. Detroit, they remain the only winless team in the NFL, destroyed by Cincinnati 34-11. Cincinnati 4-2 and Detroit 0-6. Looked like Dan Campbell was crying a bit again. I think his tears are going to fill up many buckets over the years. This team is terrible, and they're setting records that I thought Detroit would have had already. First time that 0-6 hits, but man, like, we've seen this organization struggle most of our lives, and they're not coming out of this very soon.
No, but the new thing for me with the Lions is seeing the coach that just cries that much. He's always crying. And I get it, man. I'd be crying too. Like, this sucks. This is hurtful.
Yeah.
And then because we've got Burrow going off 19-29, 271 yards, 3 touchdowns, crying. Mixon, 18 attempts, 94 yards, crying some more. 5 receptions, 59 yards, and a touchdown, crying a lot.
Well, Burrow was in the hospital. He comes out of the hospital and has this good of a performance, but I think everybody's gonna have great numbers against the Lions this year. It's gonna be, oh man, I get to really pad my stats. I'm gonna make some serious money. I got to get 400 yards passing, 3, 4, 5 touchdowns. It's gonna be, everybody's gonna eat up on the Lions this year. And as I said earlier, the Lions face the 5-1 Rams, and it's going to be Stafford against Goff. And I think, both of them are going to really want to play well, but I don't think Goff has much of a shot.
No, I think Stafford actually has the advantage here with, in terms of how good their teams are. One team is really good and one team is like not good at all. Just not good at all.
No. Since he's in tough too, they play Baltimore in the early window on Sunday. So sitting 4-2, pretty good start to the year, but going to be in tough against one of the best teams in the league. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the NFC East. The Cowboys have really just emerged as the front runner. Washington and Philly sit at 2-4, and the Giants are 1-5. The Cowboys pulled out a very dramatic 35-29 win at Foxborough. Patriots are tough there. Not too many teams can go into Foxborough and get a win, but Dak Prescott was incredible, had a phenomenal game. That great pass to CeeDee Lamb to finish it off really was, boom, a great way to end it. But I heard that Dak was hurt on the play, has to get an MRI for a calf injury, and that's got to be very worrying for Cowboys Nation.
Yeah, because the Cowboys were rolling, and they're rolling with their quarterback. And now that he could potentially be out for an unknown period of time, kind of sucks. Yeah. Kind of sucks when they were rolling as well as they have been. And Prescott, he had a monstrous game. He had a huge game. 36-51, 445 yards, 3 TDs, 1 INT. But he had, and then CeeDee Lamb with the winning touchdown, and he scored another touchdown, 9 receptions, 149 yards. The Cowboys, they are for real. Yeah. They are for real, and they actually have a defense to help back up the offense. Diggs again with another interception.
Yeah.
Pick 6 interception. 7 INTs in 6 games.
Yeah, it's incredible. That Diggs family sure has great hands, and he tied Rodney Harrison for the most interceptions in the first 6 games, 7 altogether. That pick 6 was incredible. It looked like that was going to be the winning margin for Dallas, and the Patriots ended up getting Mac Jones. He threw a huge long bomb, got a touchdown. I think there was 16 seconds between TDs there, and Patriots really went hard at it, but Cowboys were just a bit too much. We'll have to see what shakes out with this MRI report for Dak. Everybody that's a Cowboys fan sure hoping that it wasn't anything serious, but surprising that he was wearing a walking boot and had to get an MRI that quick. I think that's concerning, because usually if you get a calf injury, you're just thinking, okay, we'll evaluate it over a few days, but to already be scheduled for an MRI, I was quite surprised.
Yeah, it is super concerning, because like, what if it isn't, like, it's attached to the calf, but it's not a calf injury? What if it's an Achilles injury?
Yeah.
Because I know I've gone through that. I've worn the boot like that myself. And I hope it's not that, because if it is, he's gone for the year.
Yeah.
He'd be gone for the year, right? So, definitely. But hopefully it's not like that. So we don't know until we know. So Cowboys fans, don't panic yet.
Yeah. Well, I guess the good thing is the Cowboys have a bye week, so no games coming up. Give Dak a chance to heal up. New England hosts the Jets in the early window. So, okay, we've covered the NFC. Let's switch to the AFC. The Baltimore Ravens sit at 5-1, top team. Buffalo is 4-1, and it looks like they're just about to throw another touchdown. Diggs got flags on him. Yeah, it looks like they're going to have the ball down at the 1 yard line.
1 yard line. Yep.
Yeah. They're down 24-23 with 1:40 left in the third, but it looks like pass interference on Tennessee, and down to the 1 yard line. So Buffalo still has a really good chance to be even with Baltimore at 5-1. let's see. Was it a definite pass interference there?
I think it was, man.
Oh yeah, he hit him much before. Yeah, definitely.
Right, because he was coming back for the ball, and then he wouldn't let him do that. Yeah, there it is.
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, we'll keep you posted on that. Tennessee is having a good year, but yeah, in tough here with Buffalo. Let's see. 3 teams at 4-2. The Bengals, just 1 game back at Baltimore in the AFC North. Chargers and Raiders, 4-2, top of the AFC West. And Tennessee, if they can pull out the win, they'll be 4-2 too. Is that Beasley touchdown or?
Yeah, they're not. It's not for sure yet. Okay, let's see this.
Ooh, looks like it to me, but no,
yeah.
No. So 3rd and goal. They just stuffed the run. Josh Allen tried to run it in, stuffed the run. 3rd and goal down at the 1 yard line.
Oh man, this is good. Oh, he just dead. Oh man.
Let's see. Can it be a goal line stand?
Oh yeah. Look at that. The linebacker swallowed him up.
Oh yeah. No shot. Any penetration there.
Yeah, no shot. Look at him. Where do you think you're going, son? Look at right there. Woo.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, all right. What do you think? Is a run or pass?
No, it's a pass. Oh, touchdown. Sweeney.
Yep. Nice.
Wow.
Nice design. Nice play.
And they're going for 2, so they can push to a 7-point lead. Tommy Sweeney with the 1 yard TD reception. Yeah. Looked like they were lined up for a run, but faked it and threw a nice little pass to the tight end Sweeney in there.
Yeah, look at Sweeney. Yeah.
Wow.
That is that guy almost had that. The defender was right there.
Oh yeah. Perfect pass.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how they manage with this 2-pointer. Baltimore is just having a phenomenal year. 34-6. Oh, trickery. Oh, the Philly special.
Ooh,
Josh Allen got the touchdown catch. Wow. Nice.
That's nice. That was nice.
Trickery.
Oh, that was nice, man. That was nice. Look at Brable. He's like, stupid.
Wow, I'm not happy. That was a brilliant play.
No. Brable's like, that was actually pretty good.
It looked like a pretty shitty pass by Knox, but Allen was so wide open that.
Oh, look at him! He's by himself. He's playing catch in the backyard. That's what that is.
Yeah, they're gonna have to use that again this season. That was a nice play.
Oh yeah, super easy.
So as I was saying, Ravens won 34-6 over the Chargers. A lot of people expected that game to be a blowout. I'm not a blowout. A really, really tight game. A really big offensive explosion, but Ravens just shut the Chargers down. Like they had 26 yards rushing on the entire day. Austin Eckler had 6 carries for 7 yards on the ground. Absolutely shut down the Chargers like nobody has this season at all.
Yeah. Second time, I believe, the Chargers have been held under 16 points since they drafted Herbert.
Wow.
Second time. And so that's just telling you how dominant the Ravens were on defense.
Amazing, eh?
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson broke a record. He has 35 wins before the age of 25. He beat Dan Marino's record that was at 34. Drew Bledsoe was 3rd at 32. He's 35-8 in his NFL career, and he doesn't turn 25 until January 7th, I believe it is. And so he still has a chance to put 10 more victories on that record. That's incredible.
That is incredible. And it's a testament to the Ravens organization by saying, I think we're going to get that guy. I think that's a good choice for us. Yeah.
Incredible.
Bravo.
Yeah. He's He's led them to the postseason 3 straight times, 1,000 yards rushing twice, MVP in 2019. And there was a really great video I watched today. He has his jersey number 8 retired by the Louisville Cardinal coming up in November. They surprised him with a Zoom call. They told him it was going to be media availability with all the reporters. He went into a room and all of a sudden it was a Zoom call with all his Louisville teammates, coaches, training staff, all his the people that he loves and around there. It's a really good video. I'm going to post on our website. Awesome to watch. Everybody just couldn't say enough great things about him.
And he's very deserving of all that high praise. Very deserving. He's been so successful so far in his NFL career, and there's just nothing. There's more to come, and I'm excited to see it.
Yeah. It was nice to see the Ravens finally had Rashad Bateman there. He had been injured. Their draft pick had been injured the entire year. Finally got an opportunity to play. And I think he'll start clicking with Lamar. Seems like a really good weapon to have. Really shocked that the Chargers were shut down so bad, but the Chargers get a bye this week, so maybe they can regroup. The Ravens will be hosting the Bengals in the early window. The Raiders, with all the turmoil over John Gruden, a lot of people suspected they wouldn't be able to pull off this win against the Broncos, but they were able to beat them 34-24. Derek Carr was phenomenal, 341 yards with a couple touchdowns. And a lot of their weapons were really good. The Raiders had 3 interceptions off Teddy Two Gloves. Bridgewater had a good game, but those 3 picks were definitely the difference between the Raiders and the Broncos.
Yeah, you can't give away the ball like that in an NFL and expect to win. You just can't do it. Even though Teddy had 3 TDs, but those 3 INTs really sealed their fate in this game.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Broncos go to Cleveland for the Thursday nighter this week, and the Raiders will be hosting the Eagles at 1:05 Pacific time on Sunday. Okay. The Chiefs still seem a bit off. I'm going to say it's the $500 million contract that was given Mahomes, probably giving them some trouble being able to fill out their entire roster with legitimate top-end talent. Would you agree? $500 million, $500 million is probably one of the reasons why they're not really at the top right now.
How about, or I could put it to you like this. If you don't pay him, what are you going to do? You know, watch him leave? You know, watch this generational talent that, I'm going to have to give him a lot of money, but I think he's worth it.
Yeah, he's worth it probably, but when you spend that kind of money, are you able to get the depth at all positions that you need?
Yeah, and then that's the problem. And I think that's the conundrum that they're now facing because, you know, the defenses, if they're able to, they're trying to take away one of the weapons, either Tyreek Hill or they focus on Kelsey. It's one or the other. No. But since they were playing Washington, it wasn't that much of a problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mahomes threw his 8th pick this year. He only had 6 all of last year. So he's not sharp. He definitely has looked a lot better over the last few seasons than this one.
Yeah. He's I think he's having a tougher time against the schemes that the defenses are throwing at him. And also too, with the mere fact that his guys that he usually likes to pass the ball to, Kelsey and Hill, defenses are trying to take those 2 guys away.
Yeah.
And so then what else do you have? And then that speaks to what you were talking about before.
Yeah. The Chiefs defense has been terrible this year, and I expected Taylor Heineke and a lot of Washington's weapons to really have a big game, but They only put up 13 points, 31-13. Washington 2-4, and yeah, probably not going very far this year as well. Let's see. Washington goes to Green Bay. Not an easy task. And the Chiefs, they'll go to Tennessee, face the Titans, who are down 31-24 with 12:50 left in the fourth quarter. Let's see. So let's talk about the Patriots losing that. We chatted about the Patriots losing that tight one to the Cowboys. Jets are far down the list at 1-4, and the Dolphins are at the bottom of that division. I couldn't believe that they could take a trip to jolly old England and not get a victory over the Jags, who had the second longest losing streak in NFL history at 20 games. Somehow, even with Tua coming back, they were able to get defeated by the Jags. A big win by Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer. All the controversy that's been swirling around that team. Pretty shocking that they could get that victory.
Yes, and then also too, it was a nice aside about the story about their kicker, who was I believe he was a software engineer, and then it's like, wow, we need another kicker, and the guy comes off the street to play for the Jags and hits 2 field goals and the one to win it.
Wow,
amazing.
Yeah. That is amazing. Yeah, he looked like a kid. The guy was it was hilarious, and huge kick to give him a chance at it, and then 1 second left, they another 50-yarder, and huge win. Pretty wild that you could pull a guy off the street like that, and he could come in and win you a game. Yeah,
like that his friends must be like, hey, you know my buddy just came off the street, played for the Jags, won him the game. That's actually pretty cool, man.
That's neat. Cool. Yeah, sports is cool like that when regular Joes can come in and make a difference. Jacksonville has a bye because they made that trip across, but the Dolphins are forced to host the Falcons, and not looking good for the Dolphins this year. Tua was out. Thought when he came back they'd be able to play pretty well, but no, they lost to the Jags and sit at 1-5, bottom of the division. The Colts had a huge win over those sad loser Texans that we talked about. Bill O'Brien making the worst trade in the history of football, probably. Texans are just terrible. Colts were able to get their second win. Everybody had big games. Jonathan Taylor, man, that guy's great. 10.4 yards average, 14 carries for 145 yards and a couple touchdowns. We talked about Derrick Henry getting over 10 yards a carry. Jonathan Taylor, another one of those great running backs that was able to get a first down every time he touches the ball.
Yeah, and it's a testament to just how bad the Texans defense is, which is porous. Yeah. Just let the guy run wild back there. And then also, too, Carson Wentz doing his best impression of Tom Brady, just throwing bombs out there. So some of the balls that he threw, I was like, ooh, that is pretty. Look at that.
Yeah, that one to Paris Campbell was beautiful. It was really incredible. And then Mo Alley Cox had another nice long touchdown. Maybe Carson Wentz is turning it around. Maybe he's rejuvenating himself, and not too tough of a task against Houston.
No, because like any team that plays Houston is just like, oh, this is great. Chalk up a win for us, like right now.
Here we go. Yeah. So the Colts play the 49ers, who had a bye this past week. They play them on the Sunday nighter, and the Texans play those undefeated Cardinals. So good luck. I think 7-0 and 1-6 will be the records after that one. So Yeah, but another great week in the NFL. Lots of great games. Man, shaping up to be a phenomenal year. Just 1/3 of the way through, 2/3 left. But yeah, a lot of the top teams are really emerging. A lot of middle ground and some of the real bad teams. But definitely, we're starting to really see the cream of the crop now. Finally.
Yeah, we're seeing those teams rise to the top, and I look forward to seeing how the playoffs shake out.
Yeah.
Once we get closer and closer to that point in time.
I know. Yeah, it's going to be great. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's put the NFL to bed for now. Let's talk about the UFC. We had a smaller card, UFC Vegas 40. We had a women's fight, Aspen Ladd and Maria Dumont as the main event. One of the most boring main event fights I've seen in years. It was just hard to watch. Aspen Ladd had an opportunity to really showcase her abilities and get herself near the top of the division. But yeah, she really let her fans down, let her corner down, and just didn't come up with a very good performance. Just tried the same thing over and over and over. And it was like the first round was just put on repeat for the whole 5 rounds. It was just really, really not a good fight at all.
Stagnant. She was stagnant in there. And to me, it seemed like her head wasn't in the game.
No.
Her coach was imploring her to do something, to bite, to try, to throw volume, just do something. he was imploring for his fighter to please fight your opponent, and she just couldn't do it. She couldn't pull the trigger.
No.
And I don't know why. I don't know what was going on within her head, but she did not have it on this particular night. Did not have it.
No, it was tough to watch. And yeah, I don't want to spend any more time talking about it. It was just, really, her head just didn't seem to be in the game. That was a really good point you made. She just didn't seem to be there. Didn't respond to anything that her coach and staff or coaches told her to do. And yeah, so, but I enjoyed the co-main event. I liked also Jim Miller, to see Jim Miller and see him get a big victory. Andrei Arlovski was making his 35th Octagon appearance, and Jim Miller is making his 38th. And those two combined had more Octagon appearances than everybody else on the card combined. So that is something that is pretty rare, pretty crazy. 2 veteran, long-term time veterans in the sport. Arlovski, former heavyweight champion. Jim Miller, has moved up the ranks in all those top most everything. But great to see them both still relevant and getting victories.
Yeah, it's just a testament to their longevity in the sport. And let's be honest here, one of the hardest sports to have longevity in.
Yeah.
And they're still going.
Yeah.
And I applaud Jim Miller. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it, but he wants to fight in UFC 300.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we're closing in on UFC 270. So I believe it's kind of like 10 pay-per-views per year, something like that. So we're still 3 years away.
3 years, yeah.
From him getting to that point. And if he does that, wow, man, like that won't be equaled again.
That'll be a legendary type of thing that, he'll be able to always have on a resume, and nobody else is going to, achieve that for sure. 100, 200, and 300. That's amazing that he's been around that long. And it was cool to, just see, he's had second most finishes ever, second, most appearances, second most of this, third most of that, just littering the record book and being able to, get a knockout that he's not known for KOs, get a big knockout of a guy. He's making his USA debut, but a guy that's been around the regional circuit for a long time. Eric Gonzalez, the Ghost Pepper, tough guy, but Miller was able to get him out of there. Yeah,
hit him with that solid left and shut his lights out. KO. Yeah. He was out as soon as that fist connected with that chin, he went to sleep. I was super impressed by that. I was like, oh, it was one of those. I think I did a Joe Rogan moment. I was like, that was one of those.
I know. Yeah. It was just right away. Start of the round. Bam. He hit him, knocked him down, a couple more shots. Mark Smith came in and saved Gonzalez. And he, the other thing about Miller was he got COVID in September and was just coming out of that into October here. I was really shocked that he was able to come back and still look great. When he said he had COVID just last month, that blew my mind.
Yeah. And he looked that good. He looked fantastic. He looked great. He looked like the Jim Miller of old. The only thing that I always worry about, like Miller or Arlovski, is just the tread on the tires, so to speak. Like, is there going to be a point where these guys are in a fight and then you'll just see it as a severe drop off? We saw it with Chuck Liddell. Yeah. I would like to think no. Hopefully we don't with these two. I want to see them to continue to strive and succeed in the UFC, but it might happen at some point.
Sure.
We might see that.
Arlovski's fighting very smart these days. He's been able to win 5 out of his last 6, and he outpoints guys. He just understands the game so well. He knows how to stick and move, get in more shots than the other guy does, don't take damage. Really a really smart fighter in the past couple years here.
Yeah. Like he looked at Felipe, and Felipe, he wants to brawl you. Yeah. He wants to get down and dirty, and Arlovski just wouldn't allow it to happen.
No,
Stuck and moved, stayed on the outside, used his movement, and he got the win. It was a very efficient win for Arlovski.
Really good, yeah. I was mentioning with Jim Miller, he sits tied for 3rd most finishes in UFC history. Charles Oliveira is first with 17. Donald Cerrone 16. Vitor Belfort, Anderson Silva, and Matt Brown all have 14, same as Jim Miller. And great, amazing performance. And I really like seeing guys that can still be relevant into their late 30s and even into their 40s. It is the toughest sport to be able to, stay at the top and be able to get victories when you're that old. I'm hoping the same for you that you just said. I don't want to see them take some severe abuse because they've been through so many wars and sometimes your chin's not as good anymore. But on this night, both got the wins.
Yeah, both got the wins, and deservedly so. They fought smart, they fought well, and they got the victory.
I was impressed with Manon Fiorot from France in the women's flyweight fight before that. She's nicknamed the Beast. First woman from France ever to get a win in the UFC. She's won 8 in a row now. She looked phenomenal. Wow, what a performance.
Yeah, she looked great. She had the volume on her side, kept pumping out the jab, kept throwing her combinations. Unfortunately for Bueno Silva, she just didn't throw enough.
Yeah.
She didn't throw with her. And I believe, and that's what cost her this fight. Like she just didn't have the same amount of volume that Fiorot was throwing back at her.
Yeah. It just, it was really weird how it was just 3-punch combinations over and over and over. And Silva just kept shaking her head. Oh, that didn't hurt. But she didn't answer her. And, she'd just take 3 shots, maybe block 2 of them, but just laugh and say, no, that didn't hurt. I'm good. But definitely wasn't matching her output. And she seemed shocked by the decision, but I don't think most other people were shocked. Did I lose you there?
No. And she shouldn't be shocked. Because I think I lost you.
Okay.
But it's okay though. She shouldn't be shocked by the fact that she lost, because she didn't have enough output. She didn't throw with her. And when you shake your head saying that it doesn't hurt, like you were saying, well, that's all well and good, but you gotta, fight. You know what I mean? You gotta fight.
Yeah, exactly. The fight that started off the main card, Nate, Landauer against Ludwig Klein. Amazing fight. Probably my favorite fight of the night. I thought Landauer was really phenomenal in his submission win.
Yeah, he was impressive. Like, he went up against a guy that's really a technician as a striker, and he crowded him. Yeah. I want to say that he crowded him, and he made it into more of his kind of fight, a dirty, gritty fight. Yeah. And because Klein operates better in space, and he just took his space away, and then all of a sudden, Klein doesn't like fighting like that. You could tell in that fight that that's not the way he likes to fight. That's not the way he likes to operate. And Landauer was beginning to come on more and more, and then in that third round, managed to lock up that Darce choke and get the finish.
Yeah. Landauer, he's from Tennessee. He's got quite the accent on him. Pretty fun personality when he was in the cage. Yeah, he seems like he's going to be one of the fan favorites.
Yes. He's got a personality. He's got that Southern twang to him. I like him. I like him. I like the way that he fights. He fights with a purpose and a ferocity there.
That was a nice anaconda submission that he pulled off.
Yes. Thank you very much for that correction. Anaconda. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, no, I was impressed. It was a very good fight. Okay, the featured fight on the prelims, middleweight battle between Bruno Silva and Andrew Sanchez. Another great fight. Couldn't believe the comeback that Bruno Silva had in this one. Probably one of the comebacks of the year. He was able to, he looked in a lot of trouble early, but it was able to get the knockout halfway through the third round.
And also, too, what helped Silva to win this fight was the point deduction that unfortunately Sanchez suffered for the 3 illegal strikes. Right. Yes, they were unintentional, but I understood where the ref was coming from. It was 3 times. Yeah. You got to do something. You got to do something, man.
Sure.
Can't let that happen.
I hear you. Yeah, it was brutal, and it definitely looked like it was probably going to end in a draw, but Silva was able to pull it out. Just he threw so many accurate strikes and just was relentless in his pursuit of getting the win. Keith Peterson just had to finally step in and say, "Oh, enough." It was a relentless assault.
Yeah, it was a relentless assault. But what Silva did is what Ladd couldn't do. Right. He listened to his corner, and when his corner said, "You're gonna have to get in there and take him out," and Silva just said, "All right, coach, he's done." And he went in there and he took him out. That's what you got to do sometimes. That
was great. Yeah, exactly what we were hoping Aspen Ladd would do in the main event, but she did not. But great performance by Silva. Quickly, let's talk about Hot Chocolate. Danny Roberts getting the decision win there, landing some takedowns. It ended up being a split decision, super razor thin fight. What did you think of this one?
I thought Roberts just edged the Meave just enough to win that fight. But it, like you just said, it was close. Yeah. Very, very close fight. They fought each other at every stage, at every level in that fight. But Roberts was the better man, but barely. Very close.
There's a ton of people on this card that were former M1 global champions. Amiv was a former global middleweight champ. Take down a lot of his opponents, but he was having troubles with Hot Chocolate, which surprised me because he had just came out of shoulder reconstruction surgery and had a bit of a layoff. But the Liverpool product was able to get the big win. Last fight I really want to mention is Lupita Godinez fighting Luana Carolina on 7 days rest. Lupita was able to get in there and get a fight right away. Fastest turnaround ever in UFC history. The local Vancouver Coquitlam product, getting in there. Unfortunately, losing a decision, but fighting a weight class up. I just don't think that's the right weight class for her. I think she needs to go back down. Great that she was able to come in and be a late replacement, but yeah, I think the women are just too big at that upper weight class.
Yeah, it was really apparent, and it was super apparent on the scales since she came in. What was that? 5 pounds underweight.
Yeah,
and you could tell the disparity in the sizes of the two women.
Yeah.
You know, like, so it showed in the fight. Lapina, Carolina, bigger woman, bigger fighter, used that size to her advantage. Very hard for Godinez to try to take her down. And all Carolina had to do was stay on her feet and pepper some shots. And then that's what won her the fight.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I do want to mention the Mongolian, Danai Batjerel. His nickname is Storm. Man, that guy is lethal. He is going to cause a lot of people some trouble. Just a massive KO. Just really, really tough guy. He's going to be trouble for that bantamweight division going forward.
Oh yeah, he is nothing but trouble. He's got power for days, my friend. Power for days. And he didn't get hit with anything in that fight.
No.
Nothing came back at him. He just tagged. That's it.
Yeah, he's tough. Wow. Brandon Davis, it was a shocking mismatch there. Yeah, he shouldn't have been in with that guy. They weren't on the same level at all.
No, they were not, and it was very, very clear that they were not on the same level.
No kidding, yeah. Okay, why don't we just quickly touch on next week's card this coming Saturday. Early card again, 10 a.m. prelims, 1 o'clock main event. We've got two top middleweights who both fought for the belt, Paulo Acosta and Marvin Vittori. Who do you sort of side with in this one?
Interesting matchup. Like, I want to say, I think Vittori will probably utilize a more wrestling, grappling heavy approach, but Costa has the power to shut his lights out immediately.
Right.
And yeah, I'm going to be honest. I have no idea where this fight could go. It could go a couple different ways, or it could be an absolute war. It could be one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. I don't know. I don't know what to expect, but I'm excited to see what the outcome will be. I really am.
Yeah. Yeah, no, these two guys are both super tough. Not on Israel Adesanya's level, but number 2 against number 5, the Italian Dream against the Eraser, both super, super tough. I was quite shocked when I looked into Vittori that he's only had 2 KOs in his entire career. I was really surprised by that. He's only had 2 submission victories in his UFC career, and all the rest were decisions. So he goes to decision most of the time. Paulo Costa basically just KOs his opponents, and yeah, it's I can see, you know, your point there. I think Vittori is going to use that approach, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The thing that bugs me about Costa was his excuses after he lost to Adesanya. Said he was hungover, didn't get much sleep, drank a bottle of wine before the fight. Yeah, it was just a mismatch. It was just Adesanya's much better. Just, you know, accept the defeat, move forward. Don't tell anybody you got hammered and you were hungover. I thought it was pretty dumb.
Well, it's ridiculous. So what are you doing drinking before a major championship fight? Are you out of your mind? Are you not like that's the most idiotic thing I think I've ever heard in my life. When he said that, I was like, oh, okay. you're not very smart, are you?
Yeah.
Not very smart.
No.
But at the same time, Vittori did the same thing. When Adesanya smashed him, he was just in utter denial. How could I have lost? I didn't look. No, it's like, no, man, you lost.
You lost.
Badly.
Yeah. Do you remember his shock in the cage? He was like,
Yes.
what? I didn't win that. I was like, wow, what? You're pretty delusional, buddy. Like everybody else knew you lost.
Yeah. And he for some reason thought in his mind, oh, easy win. Won every round. It's like, no, you didn't win any rounds.
Yeah. This will not be for another title shot. Israel Adesanya will fight Whitaker in January, and the winner of that will face the winner of Derek Brunson, Jared Cannonier, that's happening in early 2022. So this is just sort of for ranking, posturing, getting another victory on your belt. But I'm actually pretty excited about it. I think these two guys are really good. They're not at the champs level, but still really, really compelling fighters. And I think it's a good matchup.
I think it's a great matchup too. And again, like I just think it's a very intriguing matchup because, you know, what they say, styles makes fights. And these two fighters, their styles can be any different from each other. Yeah,
I agree. Yeah. I think there's 15 fights on the card, 9 fights on the prelims. A lot of younger fighters, but also some sprinkled in with a few fighters you'd like to see. But let's turn to the NBA. We are on the cusp of the NBA season. Tomorrow night, they open their 75th anniversary season. It's going to be a great year. There was a ton of guys that changed teams. Lots of things to break down. Why don't we start talking about some of the teams in the Western Conference that will seem to be the elite will be the teams to beat. I know the Lakers have done a lot of very strange things this offseason, signed a ton of veterans, but the biggest thing that everybody's wondering about is Russell Westbrook, and will he work with LeBron James and Anthony Davis? Will that big three be able to coexist and pull off what everybody suspects as the Lakers going to another final?
Yeah, possibly. It's possible. It's possible. But the only thing is Russell Westbrook will have to kind of rein it in a little bit, you know, not just go Maverick and just do whatever he wants to do. Like he's going to have to rein it in. And I think LeBron James has Russell Westbrook's respect enough that he'll try to do that. I'm going to be honest. He's not always going to succeed. No. Just not. That's not who he is. But like he plays with an intensity that I know that his teammates respect, and he plays hard every game. So as long as he's going to bring you that. Yeah. And the other thing is too, can AD stay healthy? Sure. Can he just stay healthy enough? That guy stays healthy, they are a problem in the playoffs. Yeah. But he has to stay healthy. He's got to stay healthy, man.
Yeah, he hasn't proven that he can in his whole entire career, so it's pretty doubtful. But they do have a lot of veteran pieces, as I mentioned. Carmelo Anthony, Trevor Ariza, Dwight Howard, Kendrick Nunn, Malik Monk, Rajon Rondo, DeAndre Jordan, Wayne Ellington. Overhaul the whole entire roster. I think they're going to miss KCP and Alex Caruso. I think their defense is going to have a lot of troubles. And with this many aging veterans, I think they probably will be derailed by injuries and troubles there. I don't see them being able to get where they want to go with this, veteran-laden lineup. Because, we've seen it. Guys start getting injured the older they get, and they just don't have that longevity.
Yeah, it's just so much harder to bounce back as you get older. Like, how about this? We never thought we'd see LeBron get that injured last year, but it happened. Yeah. And then also too, that's just It was a freak accident, by the way, but at the same time, we're not used to seeing him get injured ever. Really?
No, not at all. No, exactly.
Yeah, but he's of the age now where those things will begin to mount up and creep up. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on the Lakers and just see how their health is throughout the season.
They are in the evening game tomorrow against the Warriors. The Warriors have retooled and got some pieces in place, but they're still waiting for Klay Thompson. No exact word when he's coming back. They seem to be. I think they're going to be much better this year. They don't have any rookies in the starting lineup. Otto Porter Jr. was a good acquisition. So was Bjelica. Jordan Poole, I think, is going to emerge as a scoring threat. But unless Klay comes back soon, they won't be able to be up at that top level. But hopefully Klay can come back later on in the season and give them that spark they need.
Yeah. And I love the fact that they're taking their time with him, because they're just like, hey, okay, so we tried this once before. It didn't work out so well. No. So this time we're going to be super and ultra careful, and we will bring you back gradually.
Yeah.
Gradually.
That's very smart. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let's give an update on the football. Tennessee has a 3-point lead, 34-31, 44 seconds on the clock. Buffalo is in the red zone trying to get the goal-ahead score. What is it? Third and 6. 38 seconds to go. So big play. Definitely 4-down territory here. Trying to get in the end zone. I would say they'll probably kick the tying field goal if they don't score on this coming play.
Yep.
Let's take a quick look at it and see what the Bills are going to do.
Man, am I on a delay? You seem to be ahead of me.
Yeah, maybe. Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. Okay, here we go.
Josh Allen is going to run for a first down. Wow.
Woo! That was super athletic. That was impressive.
Yeah.
That was impressive.
Wow. Look at
that was impressive. And he got out of bounds, right?
I think they're calling him. I think they're calling him out. Yeah. I think the clock stopped at 22. Down to the 2-yard line with a first down.
Nice work. Nice work.
Wow. Crazy.
Oh, man. And he took that defender out.
They've shown lots of replays.
Yeah, no, it's really nice. It's really nice. Let's see it from a different angle.
I'm seeing it, yeah. I think this is the 8th.
There we go.
Now they're showing it with a virtual orange line.
There we go.
Wow.
Okay. That's what I needed.
Okay, yeah, they gave it. No, they didn't give it to him. 4th and 1.
Woo.
Oh, Tennessee took a timeout. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
1. They didn't give it to him. Crazy.
Yeah, I would have given it to him.
Tomorrow night for the NBA season, they kick it off with the Bucks against the Nets. It's ring night. Milwaukee gets to hand out their championship rings, first title since 1971. These should be the two teams that meet in the Eastern Conference Final, as long as Brooklyn can keep it together. But Milwaukee, they should be able to be there again, shouldn't they be?
Oh, yeah. Giannis took a step. Yeah. He took a major step last year. He was literally stuffed them.
Buffalo lost.
They lost.
Buffalo lost.
Stuffed them.
Now they're going to be both 4-2. Wow, what a shocking upset.
Wow. Great game. Great game.
Amazing.
Great game, man. Great
Holy
game.
cow. That's incredible.
Nice game, but
That's
man,
such a big victory for Tennessee. That's
huge victory. Huge victory. Huge goal line stand by Tennessee, man. Wow. That was impressive.
So Baltimore's the only 5-1 team in the conference.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, man. And that defensive lineman, 98,
yeah,
he read that perfect. He just like, oh,
he had Dawkins with one arm and Allen with the other and took him down. Wow.
He tackled everybody. Just tackled the whole team.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that's
they
a big
are
man.
Happy.
That's a big man.
Yeah, what a massive win for Tennessee.
Oh, yeah. They are pumped. They are pumped.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Goal line stand right at the end. Amazing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. That's been amazing. The primetime games this year, just so competitive. So many games coming down right to the end. It's been awesome.
No, it's been so ridiculously good. Like every primetime game has been like must-watch football, even with the bad teams.
Yeah,
it's been utterly fantastic. It's been fantastic, man.
Yeah,
awesome.
Okay, well, let's turn back to basketball.
Yep.
We're talking about that game tomorrow night that opens the season. Milwaukee, Brooklyn. Milwaukee, yeah, looking great still. But Brooklyn, pretty much the entire offseason has been overshadowed by Kyrie Irving deciding not to get vaccinated. Was talking about possibly just playing road games. The team finally said, no, just stay home, sort it out. We don't want the distraction. I feel sorry for a lot of those veterans that signed on to that team to go for a title. And it's just been talking about Kyrie not being there the whole entire time. And that's reducing their opportunity to get this championship in this window with all these veteran guys that are maybe in the last year or two of their careers.
Yeah. It's unfortunate because like I would want to think that KD and Harden could be able to talk to Kyrie. But here's the thing. Those conversations, if they have happened, have been minimal at best or non-existent because they know the kind of person he is. He's not going to listen to you. He's going to listen to himself. That's about it.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, that's too bad for you. And then the Nets made their choice too. It's like, all right, contract extension off the table. Kyrie, thank you so much for what you've given to us, whatever that was. You can stay at home.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a great move on their part because they literally can't do anything with him because he's not vaccinated. You can't trade him to another team because he can't play. He can't play. So It's like, it's useless. Yeah.
Kyrie had his first 50, 40, 90 season last year. 7-time All-Star, has all the talent in the world. But I mean, he's being selfish and he's being, completely oblivious to the situation. There's still more than 2,000 people a day dying of COVID in the US, more than 2,000 a day still. And he's deciding to not get vaccinated. It's just insane. And he's got a huge amount of fans, a huge amount of people that are going to take his direction on what to do. And he's risking lives by saying that, no, he doesn't believe in the vaccination. There's going to be a lot of inner city kids that will, follow his lead and not get vaccinated. And it could be very dangerous.
Could be, but also too, those same kids can also follow other examples of the league. LeBron James, KD, James Harden, all these other guys too. They've decided to get the vaccination, right?
Right.
I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate just for a brief second.
Okay.
It's his choice. What he wants to do, it is absolutely his choice. It's unfortunate that it's a detriment to the team, but at the same time, I'm sure Harden and KD are looking at each other and saying, I think we can do it on our own anyways. I think we'll be okay.
Yeah. They might just be able to. Yeah, they might just be able to. So
as long as they can stay healthy.
All the amazing additions they made, LaMarcus Aldridge, Paul Millsap, Patty Mills, James Johnson, all came there. Blake Griffin was brought in late last year. Bruce Brown is a phenomenal shooter now. They've got Javon Carter on D. Rookie scorer Cam Thomas looks great. Joe Harris is a phenomenal shooter. They just are stacked deep there. And maybe they won't miss Kyrie.
Well, they got great assets to the team to supplement their superstars. Yeah. They really do. And then also too, if KD and Harden can just stay healthy, and hopefully Harden has gotten over his hamstring thing from last year, if those two can just stay healthy, they're going to be a problem. Yeah. And like you just said, I think they'll be right there in the Eastern Conference Finals. They'll be right there, even without Kyrie.
Milwaukee was able to trade George Hill and get Drew Holiday, and now they got George Hill back again. So basically nothing, and got Drew Holiday, won a championship, and got the guy back. Hey, sorry about that. We just needed to get rid of you for a little bit of time, win a title. Now we'll bring you back and we'll win a title for you this coming year. Kind of cool.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Now, would are the Bucks the odds-on favorite to win again? I'd say so. Like their team is pretty much back to what it was, except they're missing who left? PJ Tucker.
PJ Tucker was a big loss. Yeah.
But DiVincenzo is back from injury, and he's going to bolster that roster even more. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what the Bucks do, and I'm super excited to see any new wrinkles that Giannis has added to his game over the offseason.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, Grayson Allen was a good addition by them as well. Miami, do you think they're getting back to the elite of the Eastern Conference after a down year? Kyle Lowry was obviously a huge addition. They lost a couple of guys in Goran Dragic, Kendrick Nunn, Bjelica. They lost Trevor Ariza and Precious Achua, but they got Butler, they got Bam, they got Hero, they got Duncan. Oladipo probably has a bit of a bounce back. Do you see them being up near the top of that Eastern Conference?
Yeah, I do, because I think the addition of Kyle Lowry really adds something that they were missing: the grit, the desire, the hunger, all of those things, and the leadership that guy will bring to the table, all of that. I know that there's been the conversation of how much more does Lowry give you than Goran Dragic, who's an excellent player himself. Yeah. But I think it's those intangibles that Lowry brings to the table, because he's a dog. He's just like Butler. He's just like Jimmy. Those guys are peas cut from the same cloth, so to speak. So I expect Miami Heat to do well. And if Tyler Hero can get back to that confidence game that he had in 2020, oh man, they're gonna be tough. Yeah. They're gonna be really tough.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Do you Philly was the winner of the Eastern Conference in the regular season last year, but they have this Ben Simmons distraction. Do you see them still being an elite team, even with all this hanging over their head, Simmons not being there? Do you think they're going to be still one of those top teams?
I think they're going to be a top team, but I don't know if they're going to be the elite of the Eastern Conference because of the Ben Simmons thing. I look at that and I think to myself, is he going to be a distraction in the locker room? Yep, he already is. Yeah. So that's just going to be a thing. Yeah. Will Daryl Morey move him at some point in time if he continues to be a disgruntled player playing for him? And maybe, I don't want to say that he would do this, but what if he tanks it a little bit?
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. And that would be horrible. I would hope that no pro does that, but pros do that.
I wonder if he can call up Harden and get the fat suit.
Probably already has. Probably has it on right now.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah, because Harden magically puts on about 40 pounds and then magically drops it off really quick. And yeah, he definitely tanked at the end of Houston. So yeah, we've seen it before. Okay, what about Atlanta? Shocked everybody, had a really good run in the playoffs this past year. Trae Young has been great. Great defense. Nate McMillan finally has the team for a full season, emerging, being able to bring his wealth of experience and guard play to the mix. Yeah, do you think we're going to see Atlanta really emerge as one of the teams to beat?
I told you before last year that I love the roster, and I still do. And I guess the missing key that they were missing was the coach. And Nate McMillan holds all those guys responsible to the point that you saw it in their playoff run. They were miraculous. Like, they were just a completely different team under his leadership and under his guidance.
Yeah.
I look at it like this. Trae Young could take another step. And if he takes that next step, that's him being in the MVP conversation.
Yeah.
That's his next step. And if he takes that step this year, the Hawks are going to be a problem. They are going to be a problem.
DeAndre Hunter and Cam Reddish both had a lot of injury woes late last year. Be good to have them back in the fold. I saw Cam Herter signed his deal today. I think it was 4 years, $65 million. So he's back, and they're going to be a definite problem. Great to see them emerge. Okay, what about Denver? We've got Jokic coming off his MVP year. Michael Porter Jr. taking a big step forward, but Jamal Murray out is really hampering them. He could be out an entire year. Torn ACL that bad typically takes about 12 months to recover from. It happened in April, so he might not be ready for this entire regular season, not ready to the playoffs. Can they withstand missing him for that long?
I'm going to say yes, because Jokic has shown that he can carry the team. He's shown that he can do that. And I want to say that Michael Porter Jr. should take this opportunity to take another step, because he's being afforded the responsibilities of being the second scoring option because Murray is gone. Right. So this is his chance for growth as well. So if that guy can take a step, Jokic will just do Jokic stuff, because he might possibly be. You know what? I'm not going to say that. He is the best passing big man I've ever seen.
Nice.
He's that creative. He's a wizard. He's like a 7-foot kind of doughy Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
Like, he really is. He's that good.
Yeah. Porter signed a deal in the offseason, 5 years, $207 million. Aaron Gordon got 4 years, $92 million. What do you think of Gordon? Do you think we're going to see a lot more out of him?
Well, I guess as long as they utilize him properly, because like he can do pick and pop, he can rim run, he can roll to the rim and stuff. And he's got a little bit of a mid-range game as well. Like, I think it is really predicated upon how they use him within the offense. And I think coaches there are smart enough to utilize him even better than what they did last year, because he was still new to the system. And now that he has a year under his belt, I think he should be thriving this year.
Nice. I really like this rookie they brought in. His name is Bones Highland. He averaged 15 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists throughout the preseason. He also led the team in 3-point attempts, and somebody that, if he gets some playing time, I think he'll be a really good addition to the team. Utah, one of the top teams in the West year after year, but Rudy Gobert is out. He had to have heel surgery, missing the start of the year. They are very good at home and not very good on the road. They start the season at home first game, but they play seven of their next 9 on the road. So not a good start, especially when you've got your defensive presence in the middle out. I think they might have a tough start to the season.
They might have a tough start to the season unless Mitchell just bails them out by just being Donovan Mitchell.
Right.
So it really does depend. But I expect the Jazz to be at the top of the West again. They're just consistent under Quinn Snyder.
Yeah.
They just breed consistency over and over again. Their only question is, once Gobert comes back and once they hit the playoffs, he's going to be a liability. People, like teams, can key on him because of his offensive shortcomings, so to speak.
Yeah.
So that's something that they're just going to have to work within and try to either mask or, hopefully Gobert's been working on his game so that he actually has a little bit more offensive oomph to bring to the table.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about a ton of the Western Conference Elite, but we haven't talked about the team that went all the way to the final, shocked the world, and was able to really put together an amazing run, the Phoenix Suns. Do we see them finally having that confidence and being right up there this entire season and trying to make another run for a championship?
I think so. Just as long as everybody stays healthy. The only problem is now going forward with that young squad, that team that they have right now. Will Robert Sarver pay people? He doesn't like to spend money. This owner does not like to spend money. DeAndre Ayton is up. He has the possibility of doing a max contract.
Yeah.
They haven't given it to him. And so the question is, I guess they're asking themselves, is he worth it? Well, who else are you going to get that's going to be just as good as him? I'm going to answer that for you. Nobody. Nobody. There's nobody out there.
Yeah, they didn't make the deadline to sign that extension today. It came and went. It was 3:00 Pacific, 6:00 Eastern time, and they broke off extension talks without a deal. So really shocking because he was one of the biggest key reasons why they made that run. They re-upped Mikal Bridges earlier, and I'm amazed that they didn't pull this off. They just needed to make this max deal, give it to him, and move forward. It's a shock that they would even want to even talk about it. It's a simple figure, simple amount of years. Boom, here you go. This is done.
Yes, and yes, that would probably push them into the luxury tax and stuff. But if you want to win, you got to spend money.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. If you want to win, you got to spend some money. And is he worth it right now? Maybe not. But will he be worth that contract in the future? I think so.
Yeah. Another team that surprised a lot of people this past year were in the playoffs was the Clippers. They had never advanced as far as they got, especially when Kawhi Leonard went down. They still kept winning. Kawhi is out, and there's so much uncertainty about if and when he will come back. But PG-13, Reggie Jackson, Nick Batum, they emerged and had a really good playoffs. First time we've seen the Clippers go far. Do you think they're just sort of middle of the road team, or they can be nearer to the top?
Middle of the road. I think they're going to be middle of the road because they're missing Kawhi. I think this is PG-13's opportunity to absolutely thrive by being like the man. He's the man now. He's the guy.
Right.
So this is his chance to just go wild. Like if he can have one of those seasons, one of those special seasons, maybe he can push them forward in the playoffs. But it kind of sucks because they're just missing that other stud in Kawhi Leonard, and you cannot replace that. You cannot replace that guy.
Okay, just two more teams to talk about in the West, then we can finish off with the East. Portland needs to go farther, needs to keep Dame interested in staying in Portland. Chauncey Billups, new coach there. Big acquisition, Norm Powell bringing in the trade deadline last year. Larry Nance Jr. was a big acquisition. They got Cody Zeller, Tony Snell, Ben McLemore. Do you think they're going to have those pieces around Dame that they finally can, go farther in the playoffs? It's been super disappointing. The Trailblazers have this great team, but can't seem to put it together when they need to.
I don't think they've done enough, personally. I think that they're still, their Achilles heel is their defense. Like, it's been their Achilles heel for so long. It's almost as if the Trailblazers are missing that third superstar.
Right.
Because, like, they got the backcourt. There's no question about that. Those two are ridiculously talented, and Dame time is Dame time. All right. But they just need that third guy. And I don't think they got that guy yet. I just don't think. I'm like, could Yusuf Nurkic be that third guy? He could be.
Yeah.
But he hasn't shown that he is that guy.
No.
He hasn't shown me that. So
I was shocked when I saw Jokic face against Nurkic, and it was just a complete mismatch. It was like, I thought, they could be sort of neck and neck, but Nurkic is not even in the same stratosphere as Jokic now. And it was pretty eye-opening and pretty shocking. And I'm sure if it was eye-opening for me, it must have been for the team as a whole, because a lot of guys thought he might be on that same level, European top, very tall guy, but just does not have the same type of skill level.
No, he does not. He does not have the same type of skill level. He is not that kind of player. I always thought he had the potential to be that kind of player, but we still haven't seen it. So maybe he's just not that guy.
Yeah. Okay. What about Dallas? Jason Kidd takes over there. We've got the possible MVP in Luka Doncic. Supposedly, Kristaps Porzingis is going to be utilized in a much different role, trying to get him into a lot of open space. We're going to get to see them first game against Trae Young, which will be fun. The Mavs were the best team in the West against the Eastern Conference teams last year, 11-4 record. So they're hoping that they get to play a lot of Eastern Conference teams. But do you think Dallas is going to take another step forward?
If they figure out the whole KP thing, they can take another step. Because Luka's going to be Luka. He is just that special a player.
Yeah,
he's gonna do his thing. The KP thing is the question mark.
Right.
He's the huge question mark.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see how Jason Kidd is going to utilize him in a different way that's going to make KP happy, number one.
Yeah.
And number two, I'm hoping that KP is actually in a physically better state than he was last year. He just seemed like something was aggravating him. Something was not like off in his body. So hopefully whatever injury or injuries he's been nursing, hopefully he's healthy from that now.
Yeah. Let's hope. Okay. Boston, they lost Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier, but they've got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They were able to pick up Al Horford again, get Dennis Schroeder, get Enes Kanter, and Marcus Smart still there. Do you see Boston being near the top?
No, I don't, because I don't think that they've given Tatum and Brown enough support for the team. I think those guys can take another step, both of them, because they've gotten better every year that they've been in the league thus far, and I don't expect that to change. But at the same time, you can't depend on the two of them just to carry the load the entire season.
Right.
Which is what they're going to have to do with that squad that they've put together, that roster that they have. Like to me, it's not good enough.
Yeah. What about the Knicks? They finally made the playoffs. They finally were relevant again. A lot of excitement in the Madison Square Garden. Julius Randle obviously emerged as a big key there. They were able to pick up Walker and Fournier, and they've got Alec Burks. Derrick Rose is still there. I think they're lacking at center, the top elite centers, but do you think the Knicks will even take another step forward from last year?
I think so, because the one thing that they were missing from last year was scoring punch, offensive scoring punch. And I think Fournier and Kemba can provide that, but Kemba's a question mark again because of his health.
Right.
He's got a wonky knee. He got a bad knee, real bad knee. So he's going to be on a minutes restriction when he plays. He just is. So whatever he can give you, then that's what he can give you. Because I think gone are the days where we saw the old Kemba Walker from the Charlotte days where he was just magnificent, dominant player. I just think his body will not allow him to be that guy anymore.
Chicago had a bit of a down year last year. They couldn't overcome the injury to Zach LaVine, but they overhauled their roster, made some huge splashes in free agency. They were able to pick up Lonzo Ball, DeMar DeRozan, Alex Caruso, Derek Jones, got rid of Lauri Markkanen, and then picked up Nick Vucevic near the end of the year. They seem to be a team to be reckoned with. I think they've got a lot of really good pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah, I like the moves that they made. I really like the moves that they made. I am excited to see what they can do, what damage they can do in the Eastern Conference. I'm looking forward to it. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing how these pieces meld together and mesh together.
Yeah. Not a team that I expect to be near the top, but we should always talk about the Raptors. They missed the playoffs for the first time in a really long time. Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam are the only guys remaining from that win in the finals in 2019. OG Anunoby was hurt, and Chris Boucher just was deep bench, barely played. But only two guys left, 2 years removed from a championship. Pretty insane. They lost Kyle Lowry, which would be a huge loss, but they got Goran Dragic and Precious Achiuwa from Miami. Scotty Barnes was a great draft pick. I think he's going to emerge as a good talent. What do you think we're going to see from the Raptors this year?
I'm hoping that they're not bottom of the Eastern Conference like they were last year. But also, too, last year, they were decimated by COVID, utterly decimated by COVID. So, obviously, the team will probably have better protocols in place for their players, number one. Number two, I'm interested to see how Freddie VanVleet and Goran Dragic run together as a backcourt. I think that they can exist well together. And I believe Fred VanVleet will actually take another step to being even better player than what he was last year.
Awesome.
And because his ascension has been unparalleled. It really has been. Like, he has shocked me by how good he's gotten, how good he actually is. Now with Siakam, I hope that we can see a better version of him than what we saw last year. It seemed like he regressed a little bit last year, and I hope that he can get that back and some this year.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it was surprising because he played so well in that run, but then when he became the man, it didn't seem like he could handle the pressure and was able to help them win. So I'm sure he's worked very hard in the off season. Seems like that type of a guy, and we'll see how Toronto emerges. They won't be the class of the East like they have been for very, very many years, but I think it'd be nice if they can get in, squeak into the playoffs, be one of the teams sort of in the middle. That would be nice.
Yeah, no, that would be great. And I think that would be the best case scenario for this team.
Yeah. Okay, man. Well, yeah, that was great. Really nice to be able to cover the NFL, the UFC, and the NBA. I can't believe, we get to see games for real tomorrow night. I'm going to PVR it and race home and get to watch some basketball for real. It's been a long off season, but yeah, man, am I glad we're going to get to finally see some games.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking forward to that as well, because there's a very strong possibility I won't be able to make it into work anyways tomorrow. So I guess I'm going to be watching some basketball.
Nice.
So I'm all right with that. I'm
nice.
okay with that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, send me some texts. Let me know how things are going. And yeah, good luck with getting your vehicle back on the road as quick as you can. And yeah, man, it's been super fun having you back at work. It's been great working with you. It was nice to be able to discuss some of the things we were going to talk about tonight early. And yeah, this was fun as always.
Always fun, my friend. Always fun. Always a pleasure. And yes, I'm so happy that we're working together. It's an utter joy and a pleasure.
Yeah, exactly, man. Okay, well, enjoy the rest of your evening, man. Take care, and yeah, keep in touch. Let me know how things are going tomorrow.
You betcha. Will do.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye. Okay, well, yeah, great episode. That was phenomenal. Man, I can't believe that it is the eve of the NBA playoffs. Really, really lucky that we're gonna get to see some for real games. And yeah, I was going to share my screen and put up our partners and sponsors, but it is not there. But I would like to thank our partners and sponsors, Anchor FM. They call themselves the easiest place to make a podcast. Just go to their website and you can do what Jason and I just did here. Verbero, the hockey equipment and apparel company, industry leader in technology, performance, and value, and the V350 stick is a must for anybody that plays hockey in your family. We have Pampas and Possibilities. They design West Coast pretty things at fantastic prices, do installations in your home. Really recommend them. And last but not least, Forever Living, the aloe vera company for health and beauty products. So thanks again. Thanks so much for tuning in. Enjoy the basketball. Enjoy the second, third of the NFL season and UFC. We've got some huge cards coming up. Just absolutely stacked. 267, 268, and 269 are three of the best cards that I've ever witnessed, and I'm super excited for it. So keep tuning in. Tell your friends and family. Go to our website. Lots to see there, CompleteSportsMedia.com and CompleteMediaNetwork.com. Love you guys lots. Take care of yourself. Have a great week ahead. Bye for now.